Well, Warren, it's been an amazing 5 days. Day one was Old Sacramento.
Yes, it was, man. We visited the old railroad museum there, which is the largest one in the United States.
That was pretty cool. I mean, I've seen some trains that I've never seen up close before, and a lot of those trains we've seen was like the backbone of building this nation.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, day two was the Beale Airforce Base.
Yes, it was.
Because of this guy and his connections, I got to go on base, and I actually got to touch the SR-71.
Yes, you did. You were all over that airplane.
I dreamed about that airplane ever since I was young, and there it was.
All these seams under here, as you can tell, when the aircraft is on the ground, it'll leak fuel, and it'll be like it's raining under here. So one of my jobs as a SR-71 mechanic was servicing the tires with nitrogen. And the reason why we use nitrogen is because it's an inert gas and the tires would not deflate, right? And then I would literally have to wear a rain gear, poncho, or whatever to keep my uniform dry.
So why didn't you burn up if somebody accidentally threw a cigarette butt?
Because the fuel is basically inert. You could sit there all day and you could throw a match into a 5-gallon bucket of the JP7 fuel, what they use, and it would not ignite. There's a special chemical that the guys come out there during full fire gear, and it's called TEB, triethyl borane, and they hook that up, and then and only then will the fuel ignite. Afterburner section of the SR-71, all right? In flight, these will actually open up with the pressure, right, to allow force air through here for the afterburner. Right over here, these are the flapper plates.
What's a flapper?
A flapper plate is that holds this wing right here. This is the outboard wing, and whenever we had to do maintenance, say on the engines, take an engine out, if they didn't have access, we had to raise the wing. And you have flapper plates, that solid titanium right here, and then you have them all along the bottom of the inboard nacelle, and then they hang down, and then we have a special tool that would actually raise the whole wing up, and then we would lock it up in place, and then Stu over here would have access to the engines, either remove it or whatever.
Saturday was a wonderful picnic. We went to meet with, they call them the maintainers.
Yes, we are. There's not many of us left in. The picnic was, you want to talk about history. There was guys, I was like one of the babies, and there were guys in their 90s there. We had one of the first U-2 pilots, Tony Babaka was there. He's 91, God bless him.
Oh, wow.
And he flew the SR-71 and the U-2. In this picture here alone, you have 200 years plus of experience working on the Blackbirds.
And not only was their history working on the SR-71 interesting in the U-2, but then I got to learn about their own personal lives, and a lot of good men there.
Yes, there was. One of the guys we visited was actually, he was the very first enlisted man ever to work on the SR-71, and he worked hand in hand with the designer, Clarence Kelly Johnson, and that was Don Campbell.
Well, and speaking of Don Campbell, he had us over at his house, and now this is the big chief. He oversaw everything at Beale Air Force Base.
Yes,
didn't
he did. He saw everything, the tankers, the U-2s, the SR-71s, the T-38s. And then we spent about 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken, in his man cave.
Yeah, and talking about a man cave, and this was not just like a pool table and a bunch of pinball machines. This was like being in a museum. We not only got to have dinner with he and his wonderful wife,
Joe.
What a sweet lady. We got to talk faith. We talked about everything. And Warren, one of the best parts of my trip, and I have to say, was meeting your parents.
Yes.
They were so much fun, and man, your dad is so gifted. I mean,
Yes.
his dad has built RC aircraft, boats. I mean, he's an amazing guy. Now I know where you get your giftings from for mechanical and engineering and so on. Warren brought me up to the, what dam was that?
That was the Orville Dam.
No,
That almost failed a couple years ago.
I saw it on the news. They had to drop boulders in there to make sure the town below didn't get washed away.
Yes, they did. They had to redo the whole spillway.
That's right.
And in doing that, they had to drain the lake down to below 30%.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was big. We saw it from a distance, and I said, look at that plateau, Warren. He goes, no, that's not a plateau, that's the dam.
That's the dam.
Largest earth dam?
Earthen dam in the world.
Wow. So listen, Deb's going to be back on the next episode. She's stuck in Oklahoma City Airport right now for 12 hours. I just learned her flight got canceled.
Oh, I can imagine, Dan.
Yeah, and thanks for filling in for her.
Well, thank you.
And maybe we'll have you back.
Maybe. Maybe. I want to be back, man. I think Deb can be like,
Ooh. Oh.
I'm kidding, Deb.
All right. Listen, everybody, we'll see you next time on Travel with Danny Deb.